What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. It is good to be back. Took a week off, but we are back at it again. Unfortunately, it's Arsenal misery. Pretty much all we got right now in the Gunners camp. But Chelsea and City have played some games that we'll definitely discuss. And we got some previews coming up for this weekend as well. Half a match week will be played. So we're looking forward to those. But right out the rip, let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for being here. We are on our way to 200 subscribers. And, of course, get the notification bell on if you're enjoying the content. All right. I guess the best place to start is
well, first off, I want to say I love continental tournaments like, CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, even though it's crazy, of course, UEFA. But I'm telling you, these continental tournaments in the middle of the season are ridiculous.
Agreed.
Well, they said the Asian one is going to switch, so that's going to be summer. Yeah, they said they're going to switch.
Good. It's just ridiculous. It ruins the flow. You've got teams playing without starters, and if the Premier League were smart, if they knew that these tournaments were coming up, they would do their run into the holiday season, and then there would be a break.
Yeah. Well, Arsenal got a break.
Well,
and Partey didn't go to. Hey, I'm not complaining, but I definitely hear where you're coming from. Kind of the same as the World Cup last season, right?
Yeah.
Right in the middle of it, it was incredibly disruptive. I mean, I get it, and all of that is kind of a whole nother discussion. But yeah, I definitely hear you. But yeah, let's start with the Chelsea. Do we want to go all the way back to the Preston game?
Might as well. It's at least a positive, after 58 minutes. So
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it wasn't positive the first hour.
We played down, man. We do this, man. Y'all are poor. We're not gonna play. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Y'all don't. Your team isn't expensive enough to be on the same field with us.
Well, it was like we'll talk about Middlesbrough in a second, but they were talking about so and so was this. Oh, they were talking about Enzo being like 100 million.
He could buy 3 Preston North Ends.
Middlesbrough whole starting lineup was 68 million.
Right.
But we'll talk about that one in a minute. But yeah, I agree. We play down to competition, and it's frustrating. And that's just maturity.
And I actually like, Pochettino's catching a lot of flack, which I get. Like, I don't think tactically we came out, and you have to be able to fire these guys up and don't let them play down. But he said it in the presser, man. Before this game, he said, Chelsea's going to walk into this game. If the boys have the mentality that we are Chelsea and we deserve this, we're going to end up losing to Middlesbrough and be out of this tournament. And that's exactly what the boys did. They said, oh, we're Chelsea. We deserve this. We're better than this. We don't have to take you guys serious. And Middlesbrough hit us straight between the eyes.
So what clicked into gear for Preston, though? Because it was kind of the same for a while in that game, too.
Yeah, 50, like you said, 52 minutes, man. Just
what happened? Like,
I think once the flood, it's the situation of Middlesbrough got theirs first, whereas I can blame Cole Palmer. We can blame missed chances just like we have all season. Sure. There was plenty of missed chances in the Middlesbrough game for it to have been overturned or at least come back with a fight or at least tied a game up, especially with the one that's just point blank in front of the goal at the 6. There's just no excuse for it. I love Cole Palmer. I really do. But, that's just one of those moments where you can't do that. That didn't happen in the Preston game. Once we got our chances, they fell for us, and it was just dominoes at. Like, you saw the breath got taken out of Preston, whereas that never happened in the Middlesbrough. We didn't have that hit you in the face and make you flinch, and then by the time you actually recurred what's happened, you're down 3-0. Like, it just didn't happen that way for us. And, the chips fall where they fall, and you play how you play. Again, we did not look like we wanted or took them. We didn't take any of that serious. Even after their goal, we still weren't taking them serious and still weren't. We're like, oh, no, we're going to win the game because we're Chelsea. And that's just how the boys played. Like, that's just the mentality it looked like. And I've been a part of teams like that where, oh, we're going to Stumster, like we don't have to try. And then, we look at ourselves and we're down by 1 in the 45th, and the coach is screaming and yelling at us in the locker room, and we're all like, yeah, we don't really know what's going on either, man. Like, we're better than that. Like,
well, I think going back to Preston, first off, I think there was a totally different attacking mindset in the second half. I think that, like you said, once we got a goal, everybody kind of relaxed, and it's like, okay, now we can play, the way we want to play. It was the first half that I watched about 38 minutes. It really did feel like it was just like a low block. We're gonna have to just pound our heads against the wall until somebody breaks through. And I know that Preston got a little bit of possession there, but it never really felt like that they were a threat to score. Oh no, you didn't.
Wow. Had to. Sorry.
The banter.
Yeah, the banter. But no, I think the difference in the Middlesbrough game was, one, again, we got to stop this. I get injuries. I get it. But we've got to stop this experiment of Colwell playing left back. He got absolutely blitzed. He
Like
almost gave up a goal in the first 30 seconds of the game.
Oh yeah, it was even quicker. Yeah.
And I think what drives me crazy about it is everybody's clamoring for Conor Gallagher, and I understand. I totally understand that. But why not Ian Maatson? He's a left back. He could have easily played for us as a left back, but we're trying to pigeonhole Colwell as a left back. I don't know why. Like, I can't grasp why that's the decision.
do you think Pochettino, and I've heard this just rumored in the Chelsea sphere on all the different various fan sites and stuff, do you think he wants to play a 4-back? Like as like Germany did in the World Cup, where we have 4 center backs. That's what we're going to run with, because that's what the squad's kind of stacked with moving forward. We have Fofana, Badiashile,
but not when everyone's healthy. Not when everyone's healthy, because it's Cuckoo and James, right?
Right, but if Cuckoo and James play the way Cuckoo and James have been implemented to play under Pochettino, they're not defenders. They're left and right midfielders.
Well, I mean, I think that's why you would see the 3-5-2, and that's why he played it in the summer. Because it was, and again, you didn't have Colwell getting left out to dry on the left side. And the thing is with him playing on the left side, we truly don't have an attacking threat down the left when we've got.
There's no connect.
It's just Mud Dog.
Yeah, it's just speed. Yeah.
Well, even with Raheem in there, we don't have an attacking threat because he needs somebody to overlap with him.
Yep.
And so
he has to get the pressure.
Mud Dog will run into a brick wall more times than not, but he'll at least attack. And that's the one thing that I give him credit for. And that's why I want to see him on the left more than I want to see Raheem. Raheem drives me crazy for various reasons. But, it just – You
know how Chelsea like to send out ex-players as plants? They're just littering the Arsenal team right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These ex-City players.
I never understood getting Raheem Sterling. You're
on mute. You're on mute, Lewis.
I was answering that.
These ex-City players making Jesus, Zinchenko.
Well, wait a minute.
Sterling.
As soon as Roman's gone, City gets this wild hair, and they're like, you know what? No, we're gonna make the spies and plants now.
But here's the thing: all those guys could have stayed at City and chose to leave. Every one of them.
Well,
and nobody told him.
Be honest.
Knows he's riding the bench behind Mahrez and whoever else you want to put on the wing.
And he wasn't better than them, so that's why he was on the damn bench.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's kind of my point. Like the move to bring him to Chelsea made 0 sense at the time.
It was literally,
sense.
I truly think, because if you look at the squad breakdown and we gotten rid of this Chelsea Academy jersey sale BS, like no, we off-shipped everybody the fans had this heartfelt connection to. So it's like, who's a big name English player that we can bring in that's going to be a national team player? Because you got to think, we lost all of our national team players as well. Chelsea wasn't fielding anything to the England squad. We had 1 or 2 guys before we signed Sterling to come on, and those were aging out or not being held at the club to be sold. So
and then he comes to Chelsea and he's no longer in the England.
And then yeah, exactly. But he was when he first came. But exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't. For him to be the second highest, again, the Sterling Lukaku debacle before all of this, we want to talk about ownership. We want to talk about front office. It's truly the transfer list to sign millions of dollars into those 2 supposedly prolific strikers in the Premier League to bring into our club just backfired on us so much, where you're right. I don't understand that one. I don't understand Lukaku. I don't understand paying each of them $300,000 a week. I don't think they're worth it. I don't think Raheem Sterling's a leader. If you're going to pay somebody like that, at least let them be a leader or a proven fixture or backbone to your team. We spent that money and bought fluff. We spent that money on cotton candy, whereas we needed backbone. And that's not what we got in Raheem Sterling. He doesn't perform. Yeah, I want to be Chelsea's leading goal scorer. Well, yeah, it shows by you being so selfish you can't win us games by simply laying the ball off when you need to on a 3-on-1. But no, you want to hit it straight at the keeper, dead center of the goal, and don't even want to pick a side. Like,
wait, did he say that he wanted to be Chelsea's leading goal scorer?
Yep. This before the beginning of this season.
He gave an interview and said he wanted to be the man at Chelsea.
Actually, I don't even think he said I want to be. He said I will be. I think it was a definitive statement, not a question.
Let's go back that. Somebody's clipped that up, I imagine. Somebody's clipped him.
I
got you.
No, look it up. Look, that's in an article somewhere for sure.
Yeah, it is. It was during the summer.
He said that out loud.
In an interview.
Just like Jesus said, he's not there to score goals.
Just like Timo said, I'm going to Tottenham to win titles. Come on, man. Timo.
That was hilarious. Timo saying that was absolutely hilarious. But no, I mean, I think, I talk about the immaturity. I talk about, there's a bad mentality in the team, and I think it starts and ends with Raheem Sterling.
Yep.
I mean, truthfully,
Raheem Sterling for everything.
Yeah. He's our new Potter, bro. You got.
No. Wait a minute now. Wait. Now, I mean, I know he can't score, but he can't be at fault for everything.
Oh, yeah. What? Seriously, watch when he goes off the pitch. How he play.
There you go.
Totally different.
But wait a minute, but when he was on the pitch with Reese and these other guys, when they're healthy, then he's fine. So is it really?
He was fine on the right. Yes, I agree.
But that shows the lack.
He's a black hole for us.
That shows the lack of quality of player Raheem Sterling truly is my issue. You're spending this much money on a player who
cannot for his name.
Who can't right. That's exact right.
But again, I mean, man.
No, y'all got us over on that one.
Is this an extra here? Is this it?
Yeah. Well, that's the part of the interview that we're quoting. But yeah, you can go to any of those associated links to see it.
He really said that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah.
I mean, I know I sound crazy saying out loud, but
he said that. Yeah.
I understand on like the Amazon thing they do behind the scenes. Like one of those things that makes sense.
No. It was no behind the scenes. It was straight up.
Straight up.
It was Cristiano Ronaldo and Piers Morgan status. Like it was yeah. Maybe not quite as salacious, but still got the jokes and the banter and the laughs.
It's sad, like we play these squad, and it's what really gets me is this stat here. Raheem Sterling actually shows up in these games where we play smaller clubs. It's when he actually scores his goals. Yeah, all of Raheem Sterling's goals this season and much of last season came from sub-tier or lower table.
Best game for Sterling, Luton Town.
Yep,
at home.
Exactly. 100%.
At home. Yeah.
100%.
He knows he's better. He knows he has the quality, and he knows it's mental. I truly think it's mental, and I've been there on a wing as a striker. It's hard. It's a lot of mentality goes into that position because you have to be willing to take these guys on and being like, oh, no, I know I can beat you without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. I'm going to make this run, and I'm going to get past you. Once you hesitate or get caught between two minds, that's when you kick it right at the keeper from the PK spot. Like, it just is, and he knows he's better than them. My thing is I think he truly fears he's not as good as the people he's going up against in the Prem, which then shows in these bigger games. That's why he can't play against Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Villa, West Ham.
Well, he played well against West Ham. He was kind of
about the only one. I will give him that. I will give him
West Ham. But I mean, I know I shouldn't blame Raheem, and I'm just kind of more joking that he's all of our problems because there's a lot of problems. But
I think Patrick, I'm going to rephrase this. I don't want to speak for you. I don't blame Raheem Sterling, but Raheem Sterling as a individual encompasses everything wrong that's going on with Chelsea. So it's like, everything that's going on. He's the perfect example of what's wrong.
Hey, he wanted to be the man at Chelsea.
Wait a minute.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Nah, you're fine. I agree. I'm not.
Yeah, right. No argument. Even Raheem Sterling's not going to have an argument for that one.
It just,
man.
I with Yachty next season.
Everybody was pointing to Reece because he's the captain, and his nonchalantness, and I can see that, but
I blame leadership and coaching. I blame Pochettino for that. James is an amazing player. He's Chelsea through and through. He's not a captain. He is not vocal enough. He is not leadership enough. He is not going to get in your face in the locker room.
He's not on the field enough.
He's not on the. He's in the hospital too much.
James can't be the guy. James can't catch the blame like you were saying, Patrick, because he's not even there.
Right.
No, he's not.
And he's not going to get in your face in the locker room at halftime when you're down 1-0 to Middlesbrough to ask you what in the world is going on. Do you not have any ounce of respect for yourself or the club or your playing style today? Like, John Terry would have put his kneecap in all of those guys.
Sure would.
Up to the kneecap.
That's an image for you.
No, I was.
This is a kid-friendly show.
That's why I didn't.
There was an interview with, of course, John Obi, but I think Drogba was included, and they were talking about pretty much how John Terry ran that locker room. Even when a manager came in, like they would listen to the manager, but if John Terry said something, it's like, oh, we gotta do this. And that's kind of toxic, to be honest with you.
I was going to say what kind of causes a problem.
Well, that's
Did it though? Did it though?
Yeah. I mean, they Jose out the club, out the job.
I mean, I agree. Yes,
they ran him out.
When you have a backbone like that, you don't need. I don't think you need a good manager. Anyone could have been there, and you wouldn't have needed it when we had
if Graham Potter was the coach,
they would have tied him up and thrown him in the closet and put a dummy out there for the game. Like,
that's pretty much what they did with Villa Boas.
They would have put an impersonator in there.
Graham Potter look like
for the pool. You got to put a floaty in there for the pool.
It's actually Ashley Cole in disguise.
But no, I think about it, and it's like, okay, Raheem Sterling says he wants to lead the club in goals. Okay, cool, bro. But who's actually leading the team? Like, who is that person that commands that respect? That's why I always am like, I wish it was Thiago, but it's not. He doesn't want to do it. He's on his way out, or he's on his way to being a coach.
He knows.
One of the two. So who is it?
Can I interject just a second because of the thing you just said? You said he's on his way to be a coach. Wouldn't that be this now be the perfect time to actually get your chops together with this crap?
He's not going to stay. He will stay in London until the boys are able to transfer into and make it into another academy. I think
his kids.
But
his kids, yeah.
But his kids and his wife absolutely love London.
And and his kids love being I mean, I would too. If I was I would love being at Cobham. You can't tell me there's a better academy in the world. Yes, I'm biased, but again, you cannot.
Lamasa.
Numbers speak.
There's other academies.
There are other academies.
If you go to the Dutch people really make really good stuff.
Ajax Dortmund.
You know what?
The farm's a good one. You're right. Like Lamasa, the farm's a good one.
No.
I mean, City got a decent academy right now too. I'm not saying they're on that level.
No,
but again, you look up and down those Premier League teams, and it's like academy, Chelsea.
Well, yeah, and we have
the thing about
everybody
it is
on
that creates a greater issue because if your academy can produce that, then that means there's something happening in the senior team.
It's
that's not translating.
100%. Yep.
I guarantee that whoever is coaching the academy team is not trying to do what Pochettino's doing.
No. But that's why Frank was the perfect storm, and unfortunately, the first stint of Frank Lampard, where we didn't have a transfer, we couldn't bring players in, so he had to rip these boys. But Frank knew those boys. Frank played with those boys. Frank grew up with those boys. He watched them as 12-year-olds, as 14.
It was a one-of-us mentality.
Exactly.
It was very in Barcelona and Barcelona.
Those boys wanted to play for Frank, and understood that they were having this opportunity of a lifetime getting called up. That's why Tomori's able to start for Milan. That's why we have all these academy players. Name like Gilchrist. We have Gilmore. We have.
Let's talk about Gilchrist, by the way.
But yeah, Alfie.
You're down the goal, okay?
Yeah, I know.
You're down the freaking goal, and your sub is to bring a defender on.
Yeah, man. And that's where I blame Pot.
Yeah, we don't have an explanation for you.
Pochettino's under a lot of heat, like on some of the fan, like it's about 50-50. Like I don't think he's going anywhere, even if this goes south.
I
don't think we're going to lose to Middlesbrough at home. I do not think they're going to take one at the Bridge. I think we're going to win that game. I think we're going to win that game 2-0.
Where your confidence comes from, dude.
We're going to win that game 2-0. We don't lose at the Bridge. It's Bridge magic. We don't lose.
The funny thing is, because I was all screwed up with the fixtures anyways for the dates because I didn't know it was like the Cup and the FA.
Oh, yeah. They're all right here.
Remember, my first question was like, is this 2 legs? Because I'm like, there's no way this is just a 1 leg for them to just let it just like ride like this. No, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah. Well, it was almost easy for Borough, I thought. They got their goal.
Yep.
And 30 seconds into the game, like normally when a Premier League side plays a championship side, there's a bit of a kind of a mental thing there where the championship side has to have something that kind of gives them confidence, that kind of lets them settle into the game. And y'all gave them that 30 seconds into the game. And so they never looked uncomfortable. And after their goal, I remember texting you guys saying, oh, here comes the low block. They know Chelsea can't break down the low block.
Can't break that.
And so they look, man, I did want to mention that dude up front, the absolute tank. He's
a unit.
They said he was like 37.
He's a unit.
Dude is the definition of a unit. That guy
was 19.
Yeah, there was 2 of them. Okay, there was 2 of them that were gigantic, right?
Yeah.
One of the dudes was like really old. I think that was the forward, the guy that was farthest forward, that would just he kind of bumbled a little bit if he was on the ball, but if he got going, don't get in his way. Yeah. Like, oh my God. I mean, even on the play where Silva slipped, and so the dude ran through, I mean, just that's why I called him a tank, because he was just kind of trundling along there. You couldn't knock him over.
Chase it down.
You're not going to knock him over. No. You're not going to shoulder him off the ball, but you'll catch up to him.
Yeah. So was able to get up and chase him down.
But are we clearly not worried about the return fixture? No. But I mean, how do we think? I think it'll be like even more super low block. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're gonna.
They won't come out the game.
Yeah. Do you think they'll just try to sit for the whole game and not even
I mean, all they have to do is take us to PKs.
Just as a 0-0. No, I mean it's a 0-0 wins it.
We're done.
If y'all don't score,
we're not. That's
if y'all don't score, you lose.
It's not away goals, right? It's just
1-1, then it goes to PKs.
Yeah, if Chelsea win 1-0, it's a penalty shootout.
We're not going to score.
It's not extra time either because this is the
right. No extra time. It's weird. Yeah.
Right. I was gonna say, you know, one of the things that drove me crazy about this is first off, I didn't like the lineup. I don't like playing a false nine with this team right now. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Especially when you've been playing with Jackson all year. You got Broja.
I don't really rate Broja.
I mean, I don't either, but he at least he can get in the air.
Fastest thing I would do for him is a loan.
Nah, man, he's past that in his career, dude. He played up top for Southampton for like 4 seasons. Like
he'll be sold.
It ain't a loan.
But you know, the thing is so he comes on and we stop crossing the ball in the air. We're trying to work it through the box on the ground. And it's like, but that's where his actual expertise is heading the ball. Like, it drives me crazy because it's like Pochettino. He sets up a team, and when it comes time to change it, he doesn't know what to do. And, you know, I was reading back some things from his time at Tottenham, and while things were good, one of the things that people complained about was his in-game tactics.
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do in game. So if he didn't get ahead early.
I'll actually agree with that, Patrick. It's one thing, like when Chelsea knows we're controlling a game, even if it scores 0-0, even if it scores 1-1, if we're controlling a game, this team looks, and the tactics look completely different. We look like a top 4 team. And that's what frustrates me the most is that when we do go down early and we have to play someone else's game, there's no adjustment to be made that betters ours or that puts us into a positive or a more positive position. It's almost like he's too stubborn to change anything. So it's swinging a sledgehammer at a literal brick wall, low block FC.
Yeah,
that's a perfect thing to lead into the fact that you drew Villa in the FA Cup, and Emery is one of the better in-game tacticians. And he's able to switch things up. So once he figures you out and switches it, if Poch doesn't have an answer, doesn't have another chess move to come back at it, Villa could run roughshod.
We might need, and this is my thing about the FA, we might need it. Granted, if we come out, we beat Fulham, I think we're in 7th. Or we can jump to 7th.
Can we?
Yeah, only because, Newcastle play the same day. So if City beat Newcastle and United play as well, but yeah. If you win by 3 goals, you could leap everyone into There's a Brighton have 2 goal difference on you. But you know, Fulham look a little bit better. I mean, they gave a good account of themselves at Anfield, I thought. Yes, I thought that Arsenal were absolutely trash against them, but that was at the Cottage, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, at Anfield, I thought they were definitely looked good. And so coming into, is that Saturday, Sunday, whichever. It's they only do 7:30 games on Saturdays. So yeah, I mean, could be tricky for me. Every Chelsea fixture is tricky.
It doesn't matter who
it's tricky. You know, Willian coming back home, leading the line.
He'll get an applause for sure.
He's gonna be cutting in and looping to the back post because he knows y'all don't mark up on the back post.
Nope.
Yeah. No.
So we're definitely going to get some predictions in. I'll let you guys give a little bit more of a preview, but you know, I predicted a 1-1. I just didn't have any faith, no confidence in what I've seen from the Blues in the last 2 games.
It's at the Bridge, and we tend to. Granted, it's you never know. It's we're cryptocurrency, man. You never know how far the bottom's really going to get. But we tend to have been going like this and then dive up. Like we don't hit these super lows. And at this moment, we're teetering. If this is a huge game for us, and every time I do this to us, man.
London Derby, man. Next door neighbors.
This is one of those games that can propel our season into being successful. This was one of those
don't
games
do that
can get us into because it is. This is the game that can get us set up to be in Europe.
Guess who's next? Guess who's next? Anfield.
Liverpool.
Right.
Anfield.
But no Salah. And no Trent Alexander.
And no Alexander. Yep.
So?
They still got Konate and...
Yeah, they still got Jota, Gakpo, Nunez, Diaz. They've got it. They'll be fine. No problem. No problemo.
To me, it's just this is one of those moments where this is one of those games that if we win it, it sets up the momentum for us to do well in the things we need to do well in. We need to beat Middlesbrough at home. We need to beat Fulham at home. And again, this is at home. It's in our backyard. Yes, the cards have been handed to us. It is our turn to have our say, and it's at home. You cannot drop. If it's away, I get it. You can drop the ball away, come home, do your business. It's at home. Your business is at home. We need these points to be a top contender for a European spot. We need to do this because if we go in to the FA and Villa beat us and we don't have a top 7, top 6 contention.
At home as well.
Exactly.
Y'all won the reverse fixture.
Exactly. At home, though.
No, you beat them at the Cottage.
Oh,
that was early on.
Yeah. We won 2-0 that day.
That was early on. Yeah.
Palmer and Mudryk and Roja.
Yeah.
So we got scores. What are we thinking?
I mean, I get frustrated with this team a lot. I kind of agree with X that it's at home does play a role. I think that after Tuesday, it's kind of one of those gut check moments. And I want to go back and say something real quick. So when you're down and you've got a creator in Enzo who was actually doing pretty well compared to everyone else, and you take him off, you lose all your creative attempt. You put it all on Palmer, and then Palmer. Exactly, I agree. Palmer is the one that's having to do all that, and he got lost over on the right. So, but I think being at the Bridge, gotta have it. I mean, you really, really do. I think we win. I'm gonna go 3-1 Chelsea.
3 goals. That's some confidence right there.
I mean, we couldn't score when we played them last time. We scored 2.
So, I mean, you have scored 8 goals in the last 3 games, 10 goals last 4 games. You have been scoring. It just seems like from the ones you've been missing that it's like,
we should have beat Borough 4-1.
Oh yes,
easily 4-1,
absolutely.
But we just didn't convert.
Yeah, I know how that is. Got a score, X?
I can't use all the Bridge magic. I need to save some of it.
Oh, I thought you were thinking so hard because you were about to come out with like a 5-0 or something.
2-1's
this one's 0-0 written all over it, baby.
Actually, bro, honestly, if it wasn't my boys, I might call this one a 0-0. I'm going to go 1-0.
That's rough.
I am going to go 1-0.
The 1-0
at home
victory. What you saying, Lewis? What you think about the Blues?
Control.
Oh, the early one? Yeah.
Yeah, early Bridge goal, control the game.
I'm looking at Chelsea are that Patrick said this, I think pre-show, that it's really hard to like tell based on stuff. But for this one, being completely honest, you kind of look at it and you don't really know what you're getting from Chelsea. But in addition, you don't really know what you're getting from Fulham, right? And I'm looking here and it says, and this is where I'm going to make my pick. So I picked 2-1 because it says that Chelsea have been awarded the most penalties this season.
Of course.
And it says that Fulham have conceded the most penalties this season.
Nice.
Cole Palmer gets
Tim Ream's gonna chop Cole Palmer down, huh?
Cole Palmer will get a pen, and that'll be one of the second one. The first or the second? No, it'll be the second goal, and that'll win it for him 2-1.
It's Cold Palmer, you sir.
Cold Palmer. Yeah.
Oh,
of
first
course.
of all, he's nothing to me because if he stayed at City, he would be winning.
Ooh, yeah.
But he likes cold on
That's some.
Yeah, hey, I mean, truth hurts sometimes.
I don't. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just move on.
It's fine.
Yeah, but definitely going to be an interesting one at the weekend. Lunchtime kickoff.
Yeah, like you said.
I'll
London.
definitely be up. I'll
Yeah.
definitely be up and
I'll.
tuning in.
Yeah.
You just get it over with. You know, either A, it ruins your day, or you're like, hey, all right, let's
I love
go.
playing. I love the 7:30 game. I love Arsenal playing in the 7:30 game because if we win, then like you say, Patrick, there's no nervousness. There's no waiting around. You don't have to wait till Sunday. I kind of hate playing on Sunday.
I don't like playing on the Sunday.
You know, and so like, and especially like, you can just enjoy the rest of the day. So say Spurs absolutely crap the bed, you just enjoy that so much more after Arsenal have won. You enjoy it anyways.
If we're trying to catch United, I can't really enjoy Spurs. Well, okay, I can. I would find a way. Especially if, Timo Werner is off, 5 times offsides.
Oh, no, I've predicted something awful there.
No.
But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a little bit. For now, we will head across. Where's my mouse at? We'll head across the way to the empty hat and Man City. Things looking up. They've absolutely massacred. What was it? Huddersfield? Yeah, Huddersfield.
Yeah.
KDB comes back on, and City fans' panties melt. I mean, they lose their minds. Excuse me.
Good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Hey, man.
Fanboying.
We'll take the Chelsea plant.
Hey, hey, man. I as much as I say that in jest, the spotlight of the week this week was Kevin De Bruyne here on the channel. So, so I'm kind of, on the bandwagon, I guess. Or was it that I knew there would be a lot of City fans typing Kevin De Bruyne into YouTube? That's probably what it was.
Hey, man, you got to use your marketing.
I was about to say, you got to play the game.
We'll go with that. That's what we're going to go with here. But
Every time.
I don't think that he probably won't start versus
Newcastle.
Newcastle.
No, he won't.
No. But you think you'll see him?
Yeah, he's going to play because Pep said that he'll for sure play like 30 minutes or whatever. So I think the plan is to bring him back where he's just going to be a sub, just like Doku will be a sub and Haaland will be a sub. Like all those guys will be back, and it'll be for. Are we previewing Newcastle? Or are we talking about like the week? Wait a minute.
I mean, you can just.
I didn't mean to.
It's kind of like a general in mood at the time, where everything is right now.
Right.
We could, I know you mentioned in the chat about the fact that it's you're excited to play Spurs in the cup.
Man, dude, man, look, man.
At the London Stadium or at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Jesus Christ. The funny thing is if you go on any City chat board, message board, fan, anything, there's like, well, we didn't want to win the treble anyways. Like that's the first response was because they literally have not scored a goal in this stadium. Not one.
It's gonna be a 5-0. I'm here for it.
I hope so.
I'm here for the City demolition of the Peacocks.
Why we can't beat them there?
We couldn't until last season either.
I just don't get it. What's the voodoo? Like, what is it? Because for me, I don't understand why we can't beat them there.
I don't even think Spurs understand what happens in those games.
that just made me sad, man. I'm being honest. It made me sad because I don't even have an answer on why we can't beat them there. But it looks like the team is getting healthy. It looks like everybody is. I think everybody's back. Because, I mean, Stones should be back. They said Stones will be back for that game. Or he'll be on the bench at least. So, yeah, everybody will be back. And that's good.
So what are you expecting at Newcastle?
You know, I don't know what Newcastle it is because, you know, Newcastle plays City tough at Newcastle all the time.
But they're also still injured as they could be as well.
Yeah, but they like to fight and all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, you know who they are. They like to fight and stuff.
Yes, they do.
And, I mean,
that's true.
The results with the recent results, if you go through the history, as time has passed, the results have become closer and closer between City and Newcastle. So, I mean, I don't know what it is because when we go there, because it was
3-3 last season and it was awesome. It was like the second game of the season.
Yeah, and
great.
And I mean, we won two of the last three, but when we went there last time, we lost. We lost 1-0, and that was in the cup.
In the cup,
so I think it just depends, man. I'm being honest. They're in my opinion, they're not better than City. I think City should 2-0 them in this game. But if I'm being honest, I mean, it depends because like one of the things is that who City play? Huddersfield? Who they play in the cup?
Yeah, it was Huddersfield Town.
Like, I mean, while I'm saying it matters that, you know, you beat them like that, I mean, it was Huddersfield. So, I mean, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm excited because it's Huddersfield, right? I'm not, no disrespect. I mean, but if it's disrespectful, so be it, you know? And I look at it and I say, well, they got 5. They should have got 5. They looked sort of, I mean, they were fine in the first half, but they were very pedestrian. And and I think I did say this in the chat. Once De Bruyne came on, you literally could feel the energy of the team change. Like the whole energy of the team and the stadium. There probably was some wet, moist undergarments in the stadium that day. Hey man, I'm real enough. Oh, he has a cool new hairdo too. He does have a new.
Oh, he does.
Is it cool though?
He has a new hairdo and he has teeth done.
He had his teeth done too.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
He's looking good.
KDB. He's part robot and got new teeth. And
So he's a cyborg now?
he's a cyborg. Come on now. He's think about it.
I mean, he was always a machine.
Yeah.
I thought that was Holland though. Is that not Holland?
They're all robots, man. It's Pep's death robots.
Holland is like a werewolf. Like, he's got the hair and everything.
He's like a chupacabra mixed with a werewolf. and add in Thor's hammer, and it's just dynamite.
Well, I'll just put it like this: it was good to see the academy guys step up, play well. Glad Akanji wasn't hurt long term in that game because I mean he caught one, and it looked a little rough for him the way his knee got bent up there. But yeah, I mean Newcastle looks like they're in weird form. They've lost 4 or 5. They beat Sunderland, but I mean it was Sunderland, so you know.
Yeah, Sunderland didn't show up in that game. Like it was billed and hyped as this biggest huge rivalry, and they haven't played in 11 years, and Newcastle haven't won at the Stadium of Light in like 12 games or something, some long record or whatever. And then it was pretty underwhelming. I watched the full 90. It was underwhelming. They
slapped them 3-0.
Yeah,
it was nothing. So,
and that's a very fair scoreline.
Yeah,
I mean. If I'm looking at this, it says Newcastle has kept the most clean sheets, right? But City is number 1 goals scored per match and ranked number 1 away from home. So I mean, if I'm being realistic, City should win the game. I mean they should win.
Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't tell you what the lineup is because I really don't know. But
yeah,
I think they should win 2-0. I think this is the first sort of Clean sheet I've called for them in a while too.
Yeah, I'm not calling for a clean sheet.
I think
Neither
that.
Well, oh wait, I am.
I think they're wanting to get back to that, how to defending again. I really think they want to get back to that, and they need to get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely would love to see a clean sheet up north. I think that it's going to be an absolute battle. They're going to issue the axes, the swords, the shields at the door.
They like to fight.
Yeah, I mean, remember the last fixture was the one where Holland and Dan Burns squared up, and Holland got that look in his eye like, "Do it, bro.
Do it, bro.
Do it. Please do it." Oh, he wanted to reach back for Molineux so bad, like, oh my goodness gracious. I would love to see that another square off, couple of giants. That was great. That was great. I definitely thought Holland was going to strike him down. After that, there's got a wild look going on in his eye there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the Phil Foden show, I would imagine. As long as he doesn't, as long as, Guimaraes and Joe Linton don't, cut his leg off or something. I'm surprised they don't have little little knives in between their knuckles, like a ring with a knife on it that they can bend their finger and stab people. It's walking in with brass knuckles and whatnot. It's out of control, man. And I guarantee you, Newcastle are going to they're probably gonna lose their cool at some point. That's what City do to you, especially if y'all are on it, and because sometimes mistakes can creep into the City's game, and that's when they, pretty much the only time they get punished. But if they have that on lock, if they have that locked down, I can see in the 70th minute, Guimaraes just being so annoyed, Joe Linton just being so frustrated with chasing ghosts all day long that, Rodri's gonna catch a boot. Rodri's gonna get kicked. It's Foden's gonna get kicked, And if KDB comes on into that, I don't know if Pep would want him. If y'all are winning comfortably, I wouldn't send KDB out there.
No, don't risk it.
I would. I mean, but you got to play him at some point, right? You can't just leave him there and not get the fitness.
Yeah, but I feel like that. I mean, yeah, I hear you.
Because their next game is, so they got a game on the 13th against Newcastle, and then they play Spurs. Yeah, I would want him to play a game before they play Spurs, because we need all of the mystical magic possible to score a goal,
to break the hoodoo.
in London.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear that. I also know how Newcastle are, and it's almost like, remember there was that rumor going around about the NFL a while back about bounties. About if you knock someone out of the game, you get an extra check or whatever.
Real. That was real.
That was real.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints.
I feel like Newcastle's got that going on. There's somebody in the background, telling it may not be Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe seems like a stand-up guy, but there's somebody in the back be like, look, man,
it's not working because these guys have lost 4 of their last 5. So whatever they're giving them.
That's why I love bantering him. It's great stuff. That's why I love the video of Kieran Trippier. Oh man, did you see how many injuries we got, bro? It's great. I love that. I loved that. But yeah, I think that City are going to handle Newcastle. Newcastle has been terrible recently. 3-1. Light work. I'll give him a goal. I like Isak. Yeah.
We come up with 80 mil. He'll be at Chelsea.
That's what I'm saying. There's rumors. You know what? We'll get to the ridiculousness of the rumors surrounding Arsenal here in a little bit.
50,
but
we offered 50. They told us no.
For Isak.
You're out of your mind. You're crazy.
We offered 50.
He's never coming for 50.
They said no. They want 80.
What? Of course they do. Of course. They're not taking 50 for Isak. They're not taking 50 for Isak.
Where did you see that?
I got you. I'll send it to you.
There's no. Was that in the last window?
No, that's for what is coming.
Oh, you think that's what they're about to do?
That is trying to be done now. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Somebody linked us with we'll talk about it, but who we got linked with today, I had to laugh. But going back to the game, I think we start to see City. It's coming. Here comes the train. And I think this is the first time we see it. So I went 3-0 City.
Yeah. I can definitely see that.
You just know that Pep is like sitting back in his office or on the training grounds, and he's like, "Yeah, we're about to do numbers again." You just know.
I hope.
It's gross. It's gross. I even said it in the spotlight video. I'm like, man, the rest of the league needs to watch the F out because it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. I hope we're wrong. I hope I'm kind of going with this reverse psychology thing, hyping them up, and hopefully they crash really, really hard. What you think, X?
2-1.
2-1 Newcastle. All right.
I hope so, but it's gonna be 2-1 City.
Yeah.
Wait, why would you hope so? Because
I'm about to say, ain't you
trying to figure out a way
Newcastle
for us to get the 7th.
Listen.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Listen. But here's the thing, man. There's an overarching goal here. I don't need City contending at another title for 4 years in a row and breaking that
you
record.
can't do anything about it.
I'd rather them not hold that record. That's all I'm saying.
What's it matter?
It doesn't matter.
What's it matter? Look, X, you're gonna have to get used to the fact. You're going to have to get used to the fact that we are living in City's history. This is the era of their history that they are cementing their name in English football royalty right now. And it just is what it is. It sucks.
Yeah.
No, we don't like it. It's gross. But it is what it is. Like they are magnificent. They have been magnificent. They're probably going to continue to be magnificent. And there's nothing Chelsea can do about it. Arsenal... Nope, there's nothing Arsenal can do about it because we're pretenders.
You're the only one that actually slowed it down from happening faster.
True.
True.
I mean, Klopp might have something to say about that. Jurgen Klopp might have something to say about that.
Chelsea and Liverpool are the only reason City haven't won 8 in a row.
8 in a row, yeah. That's fair. That's true.
Well,
that.
I was going to say this.
No, COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Global pandemic.
Well, y'all are so used. Honestly, that
beat
cannot,
City.
That cannot be an excuse for City because y'all are so used to playing with an empty stadium. It should have helped you.
Ooh,
Well, I was actually talking
That
about
was a
the
good one.
players, not the fans, because we don't care about fans at all. Even though somehow,
Trophies than fans.
no, I was going
I'll take
You
it.
just put the trophies in, and that's like, all right, we got a full stadium today.
We blind all the people with the shine.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
They hate us
No,
because they hate us. We know.
I was gonna say, right now what we're going through with City is sort of like what the NFL went through with the Patriots,
Yeah.
college football went through
It's a dynasty.
with
Bama.
Alabama. Those two coaches retired this week, or at least one of them retired. The other one's probably who knows.
Belichick's gonna get fired.
He's retired.
No, he was he
Well, did
left.
Nick Saban retire?
Nick
Huh?
Saban's gone.
Yeah, Nick
Nick
Saban
Saban
retired
retired?
yesterday.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That was
He
Nice.
was
right?
retirement yesterday. So I mean, we are, like you said, we're living in City's moment,
City's
City's
history,
history, and a lot of it can be attributed to Pep. I hope you don't take any offense to that, Lewis. I know you had other
Ferguson
fans
was the
with
reason United
Man
won it.
City or Mancini and who was the other manager y'all had? Pellegrini. There you go.
I mean, Wenger's the only reason Arsenal's been relevant at all in the last 30 years.
If you're
But I
managing
mean,
for reasons,
that's my
go on.
point. Like, we're living in the City dynasty. So when I say there's nothing that Chelsea, I mean, it doesn't affect Chelsea. It just doesn't. Until Chelsea gets back to truly competing for the top 4, I don't care what City does. I really don't.
Did y'all even expect to beat them in that Champions League final?
Yes.
Y'all were not favorites. Chelsea were not favorites.
Oh, but we
Chelsea
did.
were not favorites.
But But here's the
what
thing.
we went through to get there,
Yeah.
I thought so. Yes.
Okay, maybe because of cup magic or whatever, but on paper, you were not the better team on paper.
No, but we
Yeah,
did.
but we beat Real Madrid on a
I'll stand by this.
tie.
I'll stand by this. At the time, we had the better manager.
Who was the better than Pep?
Thomas Tuchel does not lose.
Get out of here, bro.
No, stop.
You're
Here's a stat for you.
wrong.
Laugh all you want. Thomas Tuchel does not have a losing record against Pep Guardiola. He is one of the only
what does that have to do with
It
being
doesn't
He is one of the
anything at all.
only few that stands with that statistic.
That's a ridiculous
So are we gonna
comparison.
use head-to-head as a comparison to
That's a
Head-to-head as a
ridiculous.
comparison,
That's a ridiculous. That's
Thomas Tuchel
ridiculous.
That
Has
doesn't make any sense.
That's
Guardiola-
ridiculous. No, X. I'm not gonna let you do that, dude. That's ridiculous.
Bayern goes to play.
It's an
City
absolutely
versus
ridiculous.
Bayern. Watch.
No
Look it
way.
up. Look it up. Tuchel does not.
That doesn't
lose.
matter. I hear you. I believe you. I do not care because that basing that comparison off of that statistic is dumb.
There are some coaches that can't beat.
It just
other-
is, man.
There are some
Pep is
By that account, then he
a
should have
superior
never
manager than Thomas Tuchel. It's night and day, bro.
Stop.
It's night and day. Pep is far superior.
You give. We'll see.
Far
Give
superior.
Tuchel his
Pep
7
hasn't
years.
finished below third his entire life.
Give.
His entire managerial career, Pep has not finished below third.
Pep's only beat Tuchel
money.
once.
And
Tuchel's also been fired by how many teams?
3.
Yeah,
Has
that's
Pep
right.
been fired?
He let him go too.
Has Pep ever been fired? I'll wait.
Didn't Barca let him go?
Nope, he quit.
he quit.
I thought Bayern, or did he retire?
No, he quit.
He left Bayern.
He
He
went to City.
retired.
He left Bayern voluntarily as well. It was not a
He left
He
Bayern
never-
to go to City. He retired from Barcelona. He was
Yeah.
never fired.
He was never
He took a
fired.
year off.
He told Barcelona that this BS is too much. I don't like the stress, and so went to Bayern.
No, he took a year off. Then he went.
He
to
did
Bayern.
take a year off. You're right.
That's why
He did take a year off.
Took like a year
Yeah, 'cause
off.
he was in the top.
Yeah, so that comparison is out of bounds for
I'm
sure.
telling- no, sure, as a career
Way out
whole,
of bounds.
fine,
A
but as
career.
on a one-on-one matchup,
I'm taking Pep
statistically,
every
mathematically,
What's
I'm
your
betting
sample
on
size?
time.
What's your sample size? 4 games?
Every time I'm taking Pep.
X,
Every
I'll
time.
take your money all day
Every
long.
time I'm taking
Bayern
Pep.
lines up against City.
Yo,
I'll
If
bet on-
Bayern
I'll
plays City, I will bet you $100. I'll bet you all the money I got.
bet you $100.
Bro, City are
I
gonna
don't think
smash.
that
City would
money
smash Bayern. There's no chance, dude.
I'll bet both y'all $100. I'll
There's
take
no way. There's no way, dude. That
But I'm talking the metric that Tuchel is better than Pep. That's insane.
I'm saying
It's insane.
against Pep. I'm saying again a one-on-one.
You
Pep
your
Guardiola has
words were-
failed to beat Thomas Tuchel in
No,
multiple
hold on,
occasions
hold on.
when he
Your
should
words
have.
were that Chelsea had the better manager. That's what you said.
Yes. Compared to the City manager at that time,
Stop.
Chelsea's record, Thomas Tuchel's record against Pep Guardiola's record is better. He wins against Pep. He knows how to play against Pep.
What's your sample size?
How big does it need to be?
It's like less than 5 games, isn't it?
Actually, in that one, yeah, it is 5 games.
It's like 4 or 5 games.
4 in this. We played 2 in the season, 2 in the cup.
How much silverware does Tuchel have?
Well,
It's
I guess-
incomparable. It's incomparable. It's not even close. It's not even close. And you know, and I don't really understand. I don't really understand this. I don't really understand this at the time. I don't understand this. Coaches are better than one another at a single moment. I don't really think that. Okay, with players are in better form at this time or that time, but the coaches at the time.
Players when they are in their prime, like it's how you use what's being good for you.
Okay, so if we're
There's just
using
never an
metric,
argument to say that Tuchel is better.
Tuchel's not better overall. Tuchel's
Jurgen
better
Klopp
when you line him up
played
against
20
Pep
to
one-on-one.
29 times.
Not next time or the
Jurgen
time after
Klopp
that.
beat Pep 21 times, and Jurgen Klopp has beaten them 12 times. Is Jurgen Klopp a better manager than Pep Guardiola?
No.
29-12, then no.
But
Not
based on his
at,
metric,
not at any point, but not at any point in any of those games. Not at any point.
No.
When Pep's Bayern played Klopp's Dortmund, Pep's a better manager. When every single time Pep's City play Klopp's Liverpool, City are the favorites.
But Pep can't beat them. Pep hasn't beaten Klopp at Anfield. So, I mean, based on that,
I would take Klopp at Anfield. If the situation is Klopp at Anfield, Pep goes to Anfield, I'm betting on Liverpool.
I'm not.
Me either.
I'm not.
You just said he hasn't done it.
That doesn't. What does that have to do with
That doesn't mean that on paper, City shouldn't absolutely wreck Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
And they don't beat them.
When you're looking at something to say this guy's better or that guy's better, it's not about, oh my God, Kai Havertz pulled one out of his ass in a Champions League final.
You take the history into account. Like, you have to.
Taking history into account, you can't take 4 games worth of history. 4 games worth of history is not big enough to say that when Tuchel comes up against Pep, he's going to win every time. You can't make that statement.
Ignore that Kevin De Bruyne was not that got injured and missed the game. So we're not even going to take into account the players in the fixtures. Like, come on, man.
Then beat us in the season, and you didn't.
You were trash that season in the league. You were awful in the league that season.
They didn't beat us.
In the league, they did.
Not against Tuchel.
I think you might be wrong on that.
Nope.
Now I got to go look.
Now we have to go fact check this one.
Like 2 or 3 in a row. I do remember that.
Yep, now we're getting out the fact checkers.
It's the biggest mistake of our club's history, bro. He was undoubtedly one of the greatest managers we've ever had. Biggest mistake in our history because he could play guys like Pep. He could play guys like.
What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? 2 managers have faced off against each other 10 times previously. Guardiola coming out on top, 6 wins, 1 draw.
All at Chelsea?
No.
Right. It's Tuchel.
He never beat Bayern. Tuchel never beat Pep's Bayern.
So also, I meant to mention this during when we were talking about Chelsea. Do you know who the official is this weekend for Chelsea Fulham?
I don't want to know.
Anthony Taylor.
Of course it is.
You'll still win.
But no, going back to what X is saying, I think that there was a moment during that season where Tuchel did have
the only 3 times Tuchel played City, he's won.
Yeah. And I think, and truthfully, those matches, honestly, I think caused Pep to overthink the Champions League final because he did not play Fernandinho in the middle. And that's exactly how Chelsea went and scored.
And what was it? The first one was the first one was an FA Cup semifinal. Then the league game at City on 2021. Yep. And then the Champions League final.
Yeah.
He didn't play Rodri in that game. He played Fernandinho over Rodri in that game.
Yeah.
In the Champions League final?
It was Gundo instead of Fernandinho, according to this right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't play
his regular lineup that game.
He didn't play Fernandinho in Champions League final.
Right. It was somebody that he didn't play his regular lineup.
Right, and I think, honestly, it was because of those performances prior that caused him to overthink it, and that's why Chelsea won. Because, I mean, if you look, the Mason Mount ball is through a midfield that there's nobody standing in. Like, if Kai Havertz misses that, he should just literally take off his
I'm
boot.
breaking his leg. I'm Nancy Carey again.
Walk off because he should never ever play
Kai Havertz if he misses that goal. Yes.
I mean, just truthfully.
I wish you would have, man. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but
because he cost y'all 2 games.
He's gonna cost us so much more.
Like you said in the chat, he might cost
us so much more. But we will definitely get to that. Did we get all of our predictions in? Yes, we did.
I think
Yes,
so, yeah.
yes, we did indeed. So wild statements about Pep Guardiola's history aside, I think that Manchester City should have no issue against Newcastle. But segues are weird now that you got me thinking about good old Mr. Havertz, Arsenal, 100% crisis mode. It's bad news, Bears. It's misery incarnate. Pick your negative word to throw in here because my word, we're bad.
I did like Arteta's rant in the locker room though after that Liverpool game.
After the Liverpool game,
in the locker room where he's like, this really is unacceptable.
I don't think it was after the Liverpool game. We were halfway decent against Liverpool. Oh, you're talking about the second Liverpool game? Yeah. I thought you meant. I was thinking of the 1-1. My brain has blocked out
the cup game.
My brain has just blocked out the trauma from the disaster that was that game. See, we actually were decent in that game as well in the first half.
Okay.
In the first half, we defended well. We played through the lines well. We controlled territory.
You cut that long ball out real well.
We controlled territory. We won second balls. We created chances. And then we had our head up our butt in the final third. Mm-hmm. Some unforgivable misses.
I don't know how Kai Havertz is a professional. That low making hundreds of thousands.
He should be at the hot dog stand.
Like, to miss two, that all you gotta do is hit it.
Lewis, do they sell hot dogs at British stadiums? Is that a thing in England?
I've never seen a hot dog in England, so I don't know.
So Kai Havertz should be selling shepherd's pie down the road. He should definitely not.
He should be at the hamburger stand.
He's making. He should be pouring some oolong down at the coffee bar.
He's working.
My God, like I would have scored at least one of those.
Right. The first one was baffling, bro. Baffling.
And Saka's missed one that's worse.
I heard you, man. Honestly, Jake, when I was watching the game in my living room, I think I heard you. When that went off, I literally heard you. Like, your voice rang in my head. Literally.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, when I saw the lineup and he was the 9, I was like, oh, poor Jake.
I was worried.
Poor Jake. This is exactly we knew what was going to happen.
I was texting Bradley. I tried to explain it away and then laughed at myself, because like you're an idiot. I was like, oh, we're just going to match Liverpool. They don't want to play in the midfield, and so they're going to skip it. So we'll skip the midfield. We can win second, but no. It was awful. It was truly awful in that second half. Like, I don't understand. Is there some kind of block about playing Liverpool? Because when we drew them 2-2 last season, we were the better team for a minute. When we drew 1-1 recently at Anfield, I think that's the game that kind of got into our head, that definitely got it into our heads. And you see how there's been a skid since then, and it's been all negative. Lost to West Ham, lost to Fulham, out the cup again to Liverpool. That game, we played well. We did what we do. We worked hard. We showed up, and we still were not effective. And we still were not able to dominate. We still were not able to put it on them at Anfield. I think that may have gotten into our heads a little bit. And the same thing happened in the cup. We put it on them.
Yep.
We got in front of goal. And it's like they turned the lights out in the stadium or something. It's like they just flickered the lights for a second and they completely lost their head, lost track of, I've been incredibly bitter about what I've seen in the last month. We haven't won in 8 games 7 games or something like that.
No way.
Yeah, we have not won it in 6 or 7 games. It's disgusting. It's absolutely ridiculous because we lost to Villa, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was another draw after that. And then we beat Luton 4-3 on some crazy last minute. It's dire. The situation is not good. And of all the transfer stuff that I've been hearing, I hear rumors about this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. And then Arteta comes out himself in the presser after the Liverpool game. Probably not buying anyone.
You need a striker.
We're negative $114 million as far as FFP is concerned.
Whoa.
On their like thing, you can't. What's the cutoff? It's like 125, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We're like neg 114, and nobody wants to buy anyone that we have.
Are you not gonna offload and like?
Crystal Palace are interested in Nketiah.
I was about to say Nketiah. You could offload. Like Emmy Smith Rowe would be a perfect offload. He's your academy. That's perfect bank for your.
You know how pissed I would be if they sold Emmy Smith Rowe.
Why? I mean, he's not going to play under
Give a
Arteta.
freaking chance.
He's not going to play under
For
Arteta.
the love of God, put him in the game. No one else wants to do anything.
Yo, we'll buy Emmy Smith Rowe.
No one else wants to show up. Give the man a chance. What is Arteta doing? Arteta is under fire, and he needs to be asking. He needs to be asked the questions. He needs to be asked the questions. Big flipping time, because he was suspect versus Liverpool as well.
Oh yes.
You really expect to make 2 subs in the 97th minute, in the 87th minute? You really expect, he brought Trossard and Smith Rowe on in the 85th minute. He brings Eddie on in the 65th or whatever.
Which is almost laughable.
And Eddie didn't do anything.
I was about to say, it was almost laughable from how Eddie was deployed and how the game shifted once you got
Ever
him
since
off the field.
Jesus came back from injury and immediately displaced Eddie, after Eddie had that good run of 5 goals, got the hatter versus Bournemouth, he's looked like he's looked petulant. He's looked like Mason Mount, like he's mad that he got replaced.
Yep.
And so when he does come in, he's been crap. He's not even working as hard as he used to. Like it's clearly seems like it's a petulant child, like
That's how I feel about Sterling.
like it's like, man, you're not even good enough to be doing stuff. You're not even good enough to do stuff like that. You're not even good enough to, you don't have a leg to stand on doing,
I have a question.
You got 5 goals this season. 3 of them came in one game, and you're supposed to be this hero, the guy that comes in and wins. No.
I have a question because I can't add anything to that, but I mean it's sort of similar to the Raheem Sterling question I asked when he said what he said, which I'm still baffled he actually said those words out loud to people, but
like confidently too. Like go listen to it. It was all smug, confident. Like
It really was.
it really
it must be the London air.
Yeah.
He looked straight at the camera kind of thing,
Yeah, man.
Kai Havertz saying that.
But my question is actually about Jesus, right? Nketiah in his moments I'm not saying he's better than Jesus at all, but I mean Jesus doesn't score either. And so if I'm him, am I kind of low key saying, "Hey man, this guy doesn't score, why don't you play me?" I'm not saying he should cry or anything like that, but I mean, he may have a little bit of a complaint of why is the manager taking me out for this guy, which then affects it. And that's management. Cause I think it was an UX who said it was Arteta, or one of y'all guys said Arteta needs to, cause it's more than Havertz, because at that point, now you really can say, Arteta, what are you doing? Because you just said Smith Rowe. Partey is hurt all the time, so we don't really know the deal with that. You're making substitutions at the last minute that are obviously poor time. And then you took a guy who was in form out basically for money purposes. So this is a manager issue.
Unfortunately, man, you're right. And it's unfortunately, it just feels like all of the things Arteta is struggling with or getting wrong or like coming to the forefront, and the only way for this switch of tactics, switch of style to, not be maligned and criticized is for it to work. And look, I get that the new tactical way this game is played means that you're not necessarily going to need superstars to be in the team to score goals, but we're not scoring goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, and I mentioned it in the chat. We don't, and I think we talked about it last pod as well, that like there's no one there that if they go through on goal, like I know they're about to. If Haaland goes through on a breakaway, I know he's about to score.
The whole farm that he scored a 1-on-1, right?
If Saka goes through 1-on-1, if Martinelli goes through 1-on-1, if Jesus goes through 1-on-1, if Kai Havertz goes through 1-on-1, you know what I'm actually saying? Don't F this up. Don't F this up. Don't F this up.
Someone please be on the back post. Pass it. Just be so pass it.
Else, please.
Pass it.
So it's like, even when Odegaard steps up to take the shots that he likes to outside the box recently, he hits it off the bar against Liverpool from 9 yards away, man. Allison's in no man's land. You have to score that goal. And so if there's all this talk about, the system means we're not creating as many chances and we're less dynamic, less explosive. It's a lot more controlled and measured and blah, 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 blah. We've created lots of chances. We had like 34 chances against Fulham. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. We had a ridiculous amount of chances against Fulham. And we fluffed all kinds of lines. It's last season, it wasn't necessarily about super fine margins because we knew we could come back and score again, and we could score again, and we could score again. We were scoring lots of goals. This season, the fine margins are a lot more important because we're scoring so much less. And now that we've stopped scoring, it's a crisis. It's a 100%, 150% a crisis. I don't know if there's some kind of magic spell, bring in Dumbledore or something to bring our scoring boots back, to get our confidence back in front of goal. I don't know what it's going to take.
You can also send it to us.
Yeah. If I find it, man, I'll send it down the road. I'll tell you. Because we'll
do it in unity towards Spurs at least.
Right? It's like Lukaku has come in and spread his juju around the entire club. You couldn't even the whole team looked like Lukaku in front of goal. It wasn't even like, Saka's missed this one. No, everybody looked like donkey foot in front of the goal. It's embarrassing. It's turned me off of wanting to watch every game. I watched the highlights of Liverpool Fulham. I know it's the energy drink special or whatever, but it's still two Premier League sides. It was still probably a quality game. I watched the highlights, but I had no interest whatsoever. Normally I have interest in neutral games, but Arsenal are so poor that it's like it makes me bitter to turn even any game on.
Welcome to the Chelsea last 2 seasons, bud. I'm giving you.
Yeah, it's just like gross, and I don't think that I'm overreacting. No, I don't think that the mood that I'm in about Arsenal right now is an overreaction.
Mode is kind of how this is where you said it a couple pods ago where there was a time and place where Arteta really had to fear for his position at Arsenal, and he turned it around. He I don't like using the word overachieved. I thought y'all had a great season. I don't think there was an overachievement there. Like it puts a bad.
I don't think that's too harsh of a thing to say about last season.
That just puts a bad connotation on what y'all accomplished last season. It wasn't like an over. I think you have the guys to be second, third. Like I think you have the squad to do that.
The bad part about it was it raised the standard.
Exactly. And now Arteta started from. You got to think 2 seasons ago, like you said, 3 seasons ago. It was we're about to let this guy go. Like
it was shambolic.
And then he performs, and now the standard's here, and he can't recreate this or reenact this. So then it does lower his pedigree essentially. And a crisis mode is the way I would put it, just because I didn't know it was that deep. I knew the last 3 were negative results for you guys. I didn't know it went back to 7.
Oh yeah,
that to me, honestly, like
That's
from where you guys were last season to where you are now. If it was 7, like that's.
If suppose Spurs beat United.
They will.
We'll be in 5th.
They will.
We'll be in 5th place before we play again.
They will.
From top at Christmas.
Yep.
Top at flippin' Christmas. We'll be 5th. 3 games later. Wow. And it all comes down to, if you don't score goals, it does not matter what the people behind you are doing. It doesn't matter how much control you have. Doesn't matter how well you're able to break lines, how many chances created, what your XG is, what your field did. None of that crap matters if you're not going to put the ball in the net. Which leads me to do what you have to do to sign Ivan Toney. I'll take Dominic Golanke. Just sign somebody who has an eye for goal.
I saw that Newcastle was linked with Solanke.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not.
I would love to. It's quite the haul to get across the pond over there to old England.
But I will tell you this: I saw that Arsenal, United, and Liverpool are already slated to come back to the U.S. this summer.
Yes, so we'll try to see him again. We did go see him in D.C. Lewis and I saw Arsenal play the MLS All-Stars back in the summer.
Man.
Yeah, man, that was what a game that was.
And said, "What is this?"
Yeah, like 3 years of data wasn't enough, okay? And so the very first time you see Havertz in that snot rag of a jersey in the skills challenge, Lewis, you remember?
Oh, yeah,
the skills challenge, he was embarrassing himself from the rip.
He was trying to do that like it was they
from the rip.
It was bad, man.
From the get-go, Arteta's stubbornness, unfortunately, might actually end up to be a bad thing. Looky here, Lewis.
Yeah,
there you go, Lewis.
Lewis getting some. Hey, there are more than one City fan.
Hey, look, we found another City fan.
We found another one. Yo, buy a lottery ticket right now. This
yes.
right here.
We found it. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. All the City fans are going to come out from the Cup Chasers podcast. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The season was doomed from the start when they released that jersey, and y'all just keep wearing it.
Yeah.
No, but you know the funny story?
That's the Kai Havertz of jerseys.
But hey, here's the funny story about that jersey. Because Jake got up here the day before, and I said, Jake, man, those are the new jerseys. And I'm like, and I say to him, you think they're going to have them at the stadium that day? And he's like, no, man, they're not. I'm like, dude, I think they're going to have them there, because why would you show them? We got there and people had them on.
Sold out.
In the store and the snot rags. And we were like, dude.
They sold them all.
It looked bad in a picture. It looked worse in person.
Yeah, like if you think
it does to you.
If you think like if you think like Leo Trossard, who would you say is like the most attractive dude on our team. Whoever that is, if you thought he looked bad in the snot rag, imagine seeing me wearing that. Imagine seeing some random dude, the randoms wearing this. And then when you have to explain what the jersey is, like, come on. What do we got here, Phil?
I love this question. I can actually answer this question. This is the greatest question ever, and I'm going to answer it for two reasons. Number one, I was a Norwich fan before I was a City fan because I lived in England and I lived near Norwich. I knew football because I played ball in school when I was younger, but I didn't really know ball, right? And because the Premier League didn't come on TV here, like you would catch it sometimes. I watched Italian soccer.
Saturday morning, 4 a.m.
Yeah, it was Italian soccer, so I knew I knew the Americans who played there. But so I was a Norwich fan. But then I got gifted FIFA one year, and my friends, all the people were either Liverpool or Man United fans, and so I played FIFA, and I said, "Hey, who's this other team in Manchester?" And they sucked at the time, and I'm like, I want that team. And I literally chose City because they were not united because they weren't good. Because I'm like, it's easy to follow teams that are good and winning all the time. And so I've been a City fan since then. And then the ownership, I can't remember what year that was. That was what I think.
It's like 12. It was like 11.
No, well, that's when they won the league.
You're talking about the takeover. The takeover was like.
The takeover was in 08.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
I think it was probably the year before because I didn't even know what takeovers were. I didn't understand what that was.
Right.
I didn't understand it. So when they said somebody's going to buy the team in the United States, if somebody buys the team new, that doesn't mean anything. You just whatever, a new person owns the team. And I didn't really get that. But
we got a Chelsea fan now.
Okay.
Richard,
speaking of,
I will tell you straight up. It's kind of sort of like Lewis's story, but I will say this: I was playing soccer till about the age of 13, actually, and everybody that was on my team either were usually Liverpool fans, and I couldn't stand it. And so one of my friends invited me over to his house, and he had FIFA 98, I think it was.
Ooh. Yeah.
And
I had that on Nintendo 64.
I'm telling you, man, FIFA did it.
FIFA, man, it grew the sport in this country. I'm not kidding you.
That's why I even followed.
And I would play with Chelsea because I liked the emblem, and I couldn't stand Liverpool. That's why I still hate Liverpool to this day. No offense to Liverpool fans. It's just that growing. But I will say I didn't get really serious into it until about 2004, 2005, when I could actually watch games consistently. And then, of course, it's grown since then. So I'm coming up on, 18 years?
Well, a funny thing is, and I like this question, and I'll let X answer. But, the question about people who become fans when the teams get money or they get good, I mean, I really don't see the problem with that because that exposure is how you grow a fan base anyways.
That's how they buy their fan
base.
Wow, Rachel.
It's like this, right? We were talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this in Atlanta. Me and Jake were sitting there and we're watching Brighton versus Brentford. 5 years ago, those teams, nobody in the United States shows up to watch. You've got fans sitting there. Yes, we know. You've got fans sitting there in Atlanta, Georgia, wearing Brighton and Brentford jerseys.
That was cool.
We saw what we see. We also saw
all kinds of jerseys. We saw all kinds of stuff.
Even smaller level, like Sunderland. I mean, which I know Sunderland's not that small of a club, but now
I think I saw a Portsmouth jersey.
We saw a Portsmouth jersey, and I just think that I understand where Richard's coming from. I'm sure he's what are you a fan of, Richard?
Yeah, what's your team, Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
But you've also got to understand the exposure in the United States compared to I mean, because in the United States you would get a Saturday game, and then if you got lucky, you would get a midweek game.
That was it. Yep.
And that was it.
So
those 7:30 a.m. classics, man.
So yeah, it was. So Richard, I wasn't. It was during the Roman. You have to understand. Me and Patrick. Patrick? You're no older than me. You're in your 30s.
I'm about to be 39.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a little older than me. I mean,
I'm a
like
little
I'm almost about to be 32.
You're the
So it's like,
baby, X.
so I'm about to be 32. So like the Roman era is really like all I've grown up in. Like physically, like mentally being able to understand a world base of a sport outside of the US. But it wasn't because of the money. I didn't grow like when I was a kid, when in 2011, 2010, 2008,
We had
it
no
was
concept of that, really.
right. I had no
Well,
idea that
American
Chelsea was a
football,
rich club. It
we
was
don't
people
understand
like it was Didier Drogba. It was
Yeah,
a man
Drogba
stopping.
for sure.
I was always involved in history. It was a man stopping a civil war in his home country to
It's
play
one of my
a
favorite
World
stories,
Cup
man.
semifinal.
love that,
Like
man.
to make the World Cup was such a big deal for them. To have this leader
First time ever.
that exceeds the game itself. I was like, I don't care. He could have played for anyone. It just happened to be this club. And I followed him here, and then I learned about Terry. I learned about Lampard. I learned about Mikel. I learned about the history of the club, where you go back and you talk about Zola, you talk about Makalele, you talk about
Osgood and
Cavaro, and it's just like you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, no, this ball starts rolling and it rolling and it rolling. And 2008 comes along, or 2000,
And y'all were like successful, right?
and we were successful
Immediately.
when I was
So
a
it's
young
fun,
kid.
you know.
Exactly. And then you go to the Champions League final, we lose to United. So now I hate United with a burning passion because my club lost
Yeah.
in PKs when our captain, Mr. Chelsea himself, slips at the spot. That was I experienced heartbreak before I experienced joy with the club. That was my heartbreak with the club. Then I'm gunning for that night in Munich. And we come up against all odds and beat the Giants. It's David versus Goliath. It's the story of the ages. It's every textbook you can think of. You know, Hercules versus the seven-headed serpent, whatever you want to call it. And we come out the victors of that. Like, bro, and I was sold. That night forward, running down Otranto Boulevard in Charleston, South Carolina, with a Chelsea,
Really?
with a
Who's running
Chelsea
from
flag,
gunshot?
with
No
a
shot
Chelsea
fired.
flag strapped to my back, running down the street when Drogba hits the 90th to tie. It wasn't even the win; it was to tie the game.
beautiful.
I was
You didn't see the penalties, you just ran.
I just ran. And then I remembered that the game was still going, so I had to run all the way back to try to make it.
Oh
Like,
my God.
It was just, I'm a huge, like, it's 3 Lions for me. I'm not even an American supporter for the Euros. I got it right here.
Oh God, Rachel. Stop it.
She's
Look.
a hater, man.
Can we not focus on me?
Yeah.
No one wants to look.
You know why Jake supports Arsenal? It's when they bought Mesut Ozil, and he was just like, "Yo, that's my guy," and that was it.
That's cool, man.
Should I just go? Like Jake has left the chat. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. No, I have to answer that because I can't let that stand. I can't let that stand. You know? Oh my God. My story is similar to X's. Oh, of course, yeah. Everybody. Yes, let's go.
Are you a Spurs fan by chance?
Arsenal are now the banter club. I get it. We can't score. We couldn't finish a cup of applesauce, let alone score a goal. You know, so I get it. We're the banter club, okay? But back when Thierry Henry was running the league, we were not. And I remember watching the 1998 World Cup on VHS tapes. We taped some of it actually. So I still had it. I watched the 98 final so many times but over the years. But similar story. Saw Henry, was inspired. Obviously, you know, it was I can't remember what the time difference from France was, so I can't remember like when the games were live. When the games were live or whatever, but we watched a number of them, and Henry signs for Arsenal in '99, and again, it was tough to watch the Premier League back then, but you know, by the time I was searching for those games, I remembered, you know, having seen Henry, and of course, that was in our most successful period. So, like I said, it was a lot of fun. There we go. You love to see that right there.
Well,
Boom.
You know, the funny thing is that, and I don't knock, I get the idea of what a plastic fan is, because those are bandwagon fans and that American version of that. But I don't have a problem with it for the following reasons. I mean, literally supporters of teams are fanatics, right? And
London is red, Rachel. London is red. Have some of that. What place are y'all in? Thanks. Go on, Lewis.
But you look at
Wait,
that.
what?
Wait.
Let's back up there for a second.
Wait. No, I'm gonna let Lewis finish. I'm gonna let Jake have it. I'm gonna let Jake have it. He knows. We've given him enough.
Well, no,
Go ahead, Lewis.
But no, I look at it because the thing was, it was easy to be an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan, because everywhere I went, you could find an Arsenal fan and a Chelsea fan, because those were the name. They're in London. You got London clubs. They're in the biggest city, and it's easy. I mean, like Arsenal, for example, Arsenal was an easy one to say if you wanted to follow, because they had a manager named Arsene Wenger, and you're like, did they name
they named the yo, when I was a kid. I literally thought
a long time.
that for the longest time. I was like, this dude's so good. They named the club.
They changed the club's name to his name.
and so it's weird. So you look and and so it's you pick a team, because sometimes there's people who want to pick and just go with the flow, and there's other ones who are like, you know what? There's something about this team or this player. And so these guys pick players. And for me, I literally was like, hey, the really, really good team is here. And this other team, they make jokes about. So I want this one, because I'm from New York. I'm a Knicks fan, man. The Knicks haven't won since, well, I don't know if they'll ever win.
You should admit that.
They're good right now. Go Knicks. They're good right now.
Poor Lewis, he had to go through the terror that was Michael Jordan every single playoff.
And then as soon as Michael quit, Iverson came in and was just like, yo, screw the Knicks.
But I'm an Iverson fan.
Then he had to deal with Philly every playoff season. Yep.
Yeah.
Premier League, the rest
yeah. I mean, they have built over the years on being able to find the right guys. That's for sure. Give Pep.
But we're not sure if he's the best manager.
Oh my God! He's still bitter. He's still bitter. That's great. That's fantastic stuff.
Questions.
Richard asked some questions. We appreciate it for sure.
He wants to know who's going to win AFCON and Asia Cup. I think South Korea for Asia Cup.
Agreed.
AFCON,
Egypt,
Nigeria. Actually,
but I'm picking for the jerseys.
I don't know. The last time, I don't know if y'all know this, but the last time Egypt played Nigeria was for the World Cup qualifiers for Qatar.
Salah got.
Yeah, and it literally got bloody. It literally, there was yeah.
I'm gonna go on a Ballon d'Or.
Lean on them if you want, but Ghana's actually got a decent squad, because they're not star-studded. They're all neutral supporting players.
I'm gonna go with a Ballon d'Or question. If Salah can win the AFCON and then win the Premier League.
Well, I mean, the Ballon d'Or is so weird because it's over a calendar year and not over a season.
Well, when Messi wins the MLS
it's a new year.
Cup,
it's a new one.
Because Messi won the World Cup last year.
No. Whatever cup Messi wins means more. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what cup it is. It's just
so the MLS Cup is going to count more now.
Yes, now it will. Because
there's no way Messi will win it again the next time.
No, they're done. It'll go to.
He'll have to do more, and he doesn't. He's not even going to play. He's not even going to play half the games, right?
He's going to play Copa America. He'll play Copa America this year.
The Ballon d'Or is so it's so skewed. It's not even done on the right things. Messi was always going to win this year, especially after 7 penalties in a World Cup run. They were definitely going. They were going to give it to him, just like the World Cup. It was just, that just is what it is. And to be honest with you, I think that everything that's gone on has really tarnished my opinion of Messi, to be honest with you. And I know the Saudi Pro League is kind of whatever, but Ronaldo is still crushing it. And I think he deserves a little bit, more plaudits from the Pinaldo people out there, saying that, because at the end of their careers, Ronaldo for me is making a better go of it, but that's a whole different thing. I think Salah
we could have
could
a
be
real
in the conversation. He's having a great season.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can have a real conversation though about the effect of CR7 in Saudi and what is happening in Saudi with their players that they've brought over.
That's huge. I was actually going to say something about that. For me personally, I think that, and especially
I like hissy fits. That's the type of
who doesn't.
I love a good hissy fit.
I love Man United drama, but no, I think that the whole Jordan Henderson thing, and in that article they cited that a lot of players have made comments about Arsenal aren't going to sign anyone in January. Rachel, it's a disgrace. But I think that the comments they've made about like their wives and the culture that's still kind of
right.
You knew that going in, dude. You took a paycheck.
Right.
You took a monster paycheck. So you should have, in their eyes, you should have to deal with it. Yep. You should have to adhere to everything they're saying because they're giving you ridiculous money. And now you want to go back on it? Yep. Because it's not. I mean, you knew what you were getting into.
We didn't use another
Ronaldo
reality,
and see that's fine, but like Ronaldo's going to be fine. It's these outlying players like Ronaldo, perfectly fine. He doesn't drink, he doesn't party, he lives a pretty straight-laced life. He himself will be fine. But Conte, perfectly fine. Him and his family, very humble, very obedient, very rule-stricken, be perfectly fine. Benzema loves the culture, already a Muslim, his family already, exactly. Sadio Mane, again, fit in perfectly. Again, it's the Hendersons, it's the
mercenaries, because that's a term.
Right.
The mercenaries who went there thought they would change it for him because they changed it for Ronaldo. And I'm gonna just put it like this. You're not Ronaldo. So
you're not Ronaldo, right? You're not going to get a 1,000-year law change so your fiance can come live with you. You're not Ronaldo, bro.
Also, I think it's one thing to go into a situation and thinking, okay, it won't be that bad, but then reality hits you and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I like this too much.
This is where I'm about to have a moral oral thing, right? Where I'm standing on my soapbox. You can't chase money, man. You really can't.
No, you can't.
You can't chase money because that's all it's going to do is give you money. And money is empty. Money only has value if you live in a world where there's something in your world. You're chasing money and you're going to a desert. I know people, because I taught abroad, because obviously I lived abroad for in different places. I have family members and friends who've gone to Saudi Arabia. They made tons of money, hated it. And it's not because Saudi Arabia was bad. They thought the people were great, but like culturally, you can't do nothing, man. And if you're an American or if you come from any Western culture, you have to be totally okay with uprooting everything. So you literally have to be dirt poor and didn't have anything to go there for your life to be okay. Not because they're dirt poor, but because your lifestyle change is not going to change because the rules won't affect you that way. But if you are a rich English guy who just did whatever you wanted and drank and went to the pub and did all that crap, you're not doing that. And they're confusing that China money that Oscar chased from Chelsea.
Yep.
And Hulk chased.
And Hulk, don't forget Hulk.
And Hulk went to Russia. And all those guys who went and got money, because in Russia, you still can live that life. And in China, you still can do those things. Not in Saudi Arabia, my friends.
But it is very telling that you bring up China because it's kind of looking like it might be going the same way.
And it should.
Yeah, it does.
It's not real.
Right.
But yeah, and you say it's not real, and I think that's a big part of it. When Henderson made the comment in his article or his interview, whatever it was, where they got that no one shows up to these games.
Yeah, like 900 people, if that.
Yeah, I agree with this right here.
With that, they played under COVID, so you know how to play. If you were chasing money, the fans being in the stands don't mean anything. Stop it. Either you were chasing money or you're not. Don't hand me love of the
Well,
game.
and that's the thing. They all knew that this was government. They all knew that this was government subsidized. They all knew every team caught a subsidy from their government and was paid by oil money to not care if there's 900 people in the stands.
And I hear the counter about suck it up for a year, but these guys are signing like 3-year deals.
Right.
You know what? 3 years is a freaking eternity. There's
a long time.
No way I'm signing no 3-year deal for anything. I'll sign 6 months. I'll go
as
on
a
loan.
player, right? As a player, that is
especially wasn't there like a young guy that signed straight out of Brazil instead of going to Europe? He went straight from Brazil.
That was stupid. What are you
Especially
doing?
these guys that still have hopes of making their international squad. Now, X, you've already pointed out, Ronaldo is a freak. He's his own situation. He's his own thing.
Yep.
And now Roberto Martinez is the coach at Portugal, right? So that's just going to be a farce anyway, and he's probably going to play Ronaldo till he's out there with a walker. But, Ronaldo he's just an alien, and so he can still do it. And so we'll probably see him this summer. In fact, I definitely expect we will.
Well, he's taken every precaution since he was 7, maybe 8, to have the longevity of the career. It's not like, I'm going to burn. It's not like Eden Hazard, Neymar, like, I'm going to burn bright, burn fast. It's I'm going to do this consistently every day of my life, regardless of if it pans out or not. I'm going to be at the gym. You're not going to beat me off the treadmill. You're not going to out-health my eating habits. You're not going to outrun my practice habits. You're not going to be the first one on the field and the last one off without me being there as well. So, it's...
But none of these other guys are that guy.
No, they're not.
None of these other dudes.
There's only a handful of Kobe Bryants and Michael Jordans in the world. And, I think Leo Messi and Ronaldo deserve to be. It's just that there's a different
same combo for sure.
It's a different type of mentality, man.
But once again, it's this. But once again, I mean, maybe Gareth Southgate is another exception because maybe Southgate will play Henderson again, but I would never see Henderson. If I'm the coach of England, he would never see the field again for me.
And yet he still
you got Bellingham, Declan Rice, I'm just saying.
Now, for boxing, and the thing is, I can actually, the boxing thing is different because boxing has a history to go to places like that and break. You got the Thriller in Manila. African fight stuff. That's because that's a one-off. That's a one-off thing. But you're talking about a season, man. And I saw the point about TV rights. I actually have a real question. I understand economics, so I do get it on the grander scale. But the thing that I'm missing is no one has TV anymore. So, and people are paying for no commercials. So I'm trying to figure out, we all know money's fake anyways, right? I'm just being, I'm not teaching anything.
It's all a number.
Because it's all fake. So I'm just trying to figure out how the TV money can do this because the inflation on these salaries, it wasn't like a small uptick. It was a giant one. And we've talked about it here, where people in Europe can't watch the games. So if they can't watch the games, then
what's the market?
Where's the money?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
You're not gonna convince me that you're telling me the people in the Eastern Bloc and in Asia are paying TV deals for this. I refuse to believe that. Maybe the sheiks are paying and paying for everyone's stuff, but because it ain't coming from people.
Well, that's definitely what's happening right now. Is the state is paying for all of this stuff, hoping that eventually the TV rights will get sold, and eventually they'll foster interest in Asian markets, and definitely here in America they've tried with bringing in Ronaldo and trying to bring in big names that they know American fans already loved. But at the same time, MLS is kind of doing the same thing, and it's, I don't know, man. It seems like they're struggling.
Well, first
we
off,
appreciate it, Rachel. We appreciate it. We'll see you later. Thanks so much.
All Chelsea is a future City fan based on the narrative.
Sir. Sir.
That's all they are. Because think about it. City fans were called ex-Chelsea fans. So now I'm just going to flip it.
This is true.
I'm just going to flip it.
If I leave, I'm going to Bayern.
NBC's TV deal is $2.7 billion for 6 years.
For the Premier League or for Saudi?
For Premier League.
Yeah.
So, but remember, we had that discussion about Saudi and that article in The Athletic. Again, I recommend go read it. It's fantastic. It's about the PIF and their whole plan long term. So, I mean, but if you think about the salaries that are involved, so I'm looking here. The EPL currently holds domestic media right deals with Sky Sports, TNT Sports, and Amazon Prime Video that are bringing in more than $6 billion over the life of a 3-year cycle ending in 2025. So there, you're talking about $9 billion. Okay. You've got shirt deals. You've got, all of these sponsorships. So I kind of understand where the money's coming from. And I agree. It didn't go from like gradual. It just went through the roof. And there comes a point where the bubble bursts, right?
Yeah.
Because teams, fans see it, like, why am I paying $200 or $300 to go to a game to watch us play against a former championship side? No offense to the championship, when I could just sit at home and
watch every game.
And watch every game.
In addition to that, I want to add this, Patrick. I could understand if this money happened 5 years ago because you had Ronaldo and Messi prime. These guys are literally leaving the game. So you also don't have an anchor guy anymore. Because, I mean, I'm a City supporter, but Haaland is not Ronaldo or Messi. And Mbappe is neither one of them. So who's your anchor guy? You can't pay this money to everybody, and that's what's happening. That's silly.
Yeah.
And Chelsea is very guilty of this, but it's all on pretty much potential.
Yeah.
That's what
y'all bet the house on potential.
But the guys play too much, so you're killing the potential and we haven't talked about this. Part of the reason I think Saka has been poor is because he plays too much. He doesn't rest.
Oh, right.
He doesn't rest.
Yeah, but that also bleeds into another conversation that we were having in the chat as well, or maybe I saw it on y'all shared it on an Instagram post or whatever. The guys back in the day, the superstars back in the day, were playing just as much.
Yeah,
they were.
But you also have to realize that the talent level overall is better.
Is it
much better?
Physically,
okay, I'll give you that the average is higher, but the amount of true gems in this generation has plummeted.
Oh, I agree with that.
There's no Zlatans.
But that's why I'm saying. That's why I asked the question about the money, because there's nobody carrying the game anymore like that.
Yeah, there ain't nobody. We're so spoiled in the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Richard, I agree with this.
Question that we missed.
I agree with this right here.
Who's going to win Euro 2024?
France.
England, baby.
France.
I think France is an easy pick. Obviously, England's going to be. I'm going to go with an easy, but I think it might be Germany.
No way, dude. I have not seen anything from Germany recently.
I think it will be.
I think
once you get it tournament style,
Kai Havertz about to do a madness.
It's the game-winning goal in the Euros.
Back Kai Havertz. Oh my god!
I got one for you for the conspiracies. Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal are going to win because Messi just won the World Cup.
But he's already won it once.
But he didn't play in the final.
Doesn't matter.
He dragged that team all the way through that whole tournament.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because think about the narrative. So Ronaldo had the most goals in the calendar year last year. Didn't get acknowledged for anything
at all.
When he was United's leading goal scorer and chances created and leading United in chances created, nothing.
Love this question.
Can I answer
Timo.
I love Timo.
No, we love Timo. You should go back. You should go back to last season when Timo was still on Chelsea, and just the absolute shade we were tossing at him every chance we got. It was so great.
Timo was my boy. No one understood how Timo was deployed at Chelsea. I don't think not deployed to score
he was
goals.
pre-Mud Dog. He's Mud Dog before Mud Dog came in. He's just straight speedster. He's Ukraine Bolt before Mud Dog came along.
Well, I think Mudrick has more actual skill than Timo. Timo's
got so much experience.
How Timo can play like absolutely top tier in Germany, and he keeps coming back to the. Why would you come? I mean, yes, he's coming from money.
Hey, Big Ange, man, he's doing big things over there. They're not gonna Spurs it up or anything. Oh man, Timo at Spurs makes me so happy. They're made for each other. Run really fast, and then do nothing with it in front of goal, Richarlison.
Be offside.
I'm all about it. He's gonna. Oh, I'm great. I love it. Yeah, I love it. That's the same thing Brennan Johnson's doing. Brennan Johnson's been okay, but it's the same kind of. He's got lots of speed. He can dribble the ball, but when they get in front of goal, they look like Arsenal.
I mean, the best time when Timo looked his best, it was when Chelsea was in counter. If they were, trying to break someone down, he wouldn't run between the lines. He was not reliable in front of goal. He flubbed just as many as Jackson,
Richarlison.
I can think of so many misses from him, and I can think of so many goals that he scored that he was offsides. I mean, it got ridiculous. I do think that for some reason the whole Havertz-Timo partnership worked. Don't know why, don't know how, but I think it worked.
Neither do they.
But I mean, I'll be shocked if he scores more than 5 goals for Spurs.
Shocked.
I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
See, now we're really talking about Spurs.
Mm-hmm. That's it. This is the history of the Tottenham. Yes. Well, on that note, I think unless I know we kind of got off, and I really enjoyed that last half hour there. So, do you want to touch in? I mean, we're kind of running over time here. Do you want to touch in on the other 3 games, or do we just want to say Spurs are going to beat United at Old Trafford?
Spurs will beat United.
Spurs will beat United.
We got to beat
United.
United.
I hate United more. Hate United more than I hate Spurs. Spurs will beat United.
Rapid fire predictions. I said 2-1.
I said 2-1.
1-0.
I said 2-1 Spurs. Yeah.
I got 2-0 Spurs. 2-0
Spurs.
Oh God, no one thinks United got it.
United got it. This might be the game. I don't know. We say this every week.
You said 1-up Spurs.
1-up Spurs. Yeah.
Here comes Ten Hog.
10 sacks.
No, there's no way.
No, it wouldn't be that bad. It'll be a dominant probably performance by Spurs. They're getting a bunch of people back now. I saw Vanderven's very close.
Yeah, but they sold their best defender, Eric Dyer, to Bayern Munich.
We will always have
for $4 million. By the way, it was a $4 million fee.
I guess he's like, well, he's big. He might be able to work in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that's Thomas Tuchel. What is Tommy doing?
We will always have the image of Nicholas Jackson running away from Eric Dyer.
I'm shocked. I'm baffled that earlier we spent 15 minutes on Thomas Tuchel being a better manager than Pep Guardiola, and now he's trying to buy, and he's bought Eric Dyer.
Listen.
And he's going to get rid of Kimmich.
Yeah.
Send him over to Manchester's blue side.
He's going to get rid of Kimmich. Like, Kimmich is not re-signing a contract.
Yep.
Because Tuchel doesn't want him anymore.
We'll take him. We'll take him.
I'm shocked. Tommy Tuchel has lost the plot.
Most definitely.
He's just going to ride. Look, here's what's happening. Harry Kane has brought the Spurs mentality, Richard, over to Bayern.
That might
let's see.
happen.
They're going to have two
Everton
former
Leverkusen's winning the league, man.
Leverkusen's going to win the league.
Aren't they on top? I think they're on top of Bundesliga, or at least tied with Bayern on top of Bundesliga right now.
Wow.
Xabi Alonso, dude.
Hey, did
Yeah.
we,
Yeah. Zabi's been.
Xabi Alonso, man.
Watch Mao's statement on why Xabi Alonso might and could become the greatest manager to ever coach and manage this beautiful game because of the experience and the people he's been around his entire career. He's literally played under anyone who you think is the greatest. Xabi Alonso has played underneath them. He has learned.
Not all of them. Not all of them, but
he's
plenty of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mal had a really good. He was like, because he was asked point blank, like, what do you think about Xabi Alonso being a manager? And he was like, you got to think his dad was a manager before, or his dad played and then became a manager before Xabi was ever, brought up as a professional. So he learned the game from a professional mindset. Who he's played under as a professional and the teams and all the continents he's played on. So he's had the experience of all of these different styles of the game. He can wrap that into one big giant bow and go, I know how to beat anyone on any continent and playing this style of game.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. He's got a long way to go.
He's doing great things, man.
But I mean, he was kind of the front runner for Real if he were to leave, yeah.
I heard the same thing about Poole. About him replacing Klopp.
See,
Klopp
I would hate that,
nowhere, man. Klopp ain't going nowhere.
Right now, not obviously right now, but 5 years from now.
I would hate that.
I would hate that.
Why?
Unless John Terry's at the helm.
Chelsea. I know you don't get no love for him as a tribalism.
Oh no. He played for Liverpool. That's all.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying though, he would follow a great manager in Klopp, and he would have a team set up completely for him. And what we're seeing with Leverkusen, I mean, he probably wouldn't drive it into the ground. He probably would either maintain or potentially build upon it.
Yeah, probably. But there are a couple of other games. We'll go ahead and knock these out right quick. Everton at home to Villa. I said 2-2. I think it's going to be back and forth. Everton are, on the rise, looking good recently. So Villa are not as good at away from home. 2-2.
I called a draw. 1-1.
1-1.
2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa.
That's going to be the one that beats me. I know it is.
What'd you think, X?
Is this my 0-0?
No, the next one is your 0-0. Trust me. Trust me on this one. The next one is your 0-0.
It is.
Okay.
What's this one?
I don't want Villa to win, though, man.
But they're going to.
I know they're going to. I just don't want to.
Nah, there might be a draw. It could be a tight game.
2-2.
2-2, yes. And the next one, the final game for this half of a match week. Big 6-pointer. Burnley, Luton.
0-0, baby.
Yeah, told you.
That's it. That's my 0-0 for the week.
Told you.
I'm going to tell you why it's not 0-0 because Burnley lets in goals.
Because Burnley lets in goals and Luton lets in goals. So
that's why I said 1-1.
This might be the 5-5.
I'm going for a barnstormer. 3-2 Burnley.
3-2 Burnley. That's a big result.
I got a 3-1.
This was tomorrow too, by the way. So keep that in mind.
It is Friday. Yeah, it is the Friday game tomorrow. What'd you say, Lewis? 3-1 Burnley. Some Vince Company fans.
Yeah, man.
Get out your long range bombs in the chat.
It's gonna happen at some point, right?
Hey,
yeah.
You had a Super Bowl question. I'm gonna throw that out there.
We did. Richard asked about the Super Bowl. I have no clue. So
I think the Ravens are gonna win the Super Bowl because they're the number 1 seed.
49ers.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
I have not watched the NFL in 3 years, so I have nothing to contribute.
I mean, I've gone to games, but I don't watch them.
I think it's going to be the Ravens as well, only because if you look, the last 6 seasons they've incorporated the colors of the winning of the teams that go to the Super Bowl into the logo of said Super Bowl.
Oh, you saw that meme too?
Yeah, look at it. It's
Now we know why X is in last in their predictions league.
That's
The crap you're basing this is what you're basing your predictions on.
I'm telling you, bro.
Memes and logos.
Telling you, bro. There's something to be said about the color scheme.
That's why Burnley Luton is going to be 0-0.
Yeah, that's why. But no, if anything, I want the Bills to go. That's just a little hometown family.
I thought you were a Seahawks fan.
I am. I was a Russell Wilson fan. That's why I'd be a Denver Broncos fan.
Gotcha.
But I know they're not going to win. So
yeah, how are the Panthers doing?
y'all might get first round draft pick, baby.
Why
They're not.
Why you gotta do that to me?
The Bears.
No.
Yeah, it's
For
no,
last
it's
year's
Bears
first pick,
because
they
we
traded
traded it.
The Bears have the pick.
Why you got to do that to me? Why
So
you gotta
they
do that?
stuck for nothing? Like, that's so
Yeah.
bad.
Wait, so they really are like terrible?
Oh, they're bad.
They're
worse.
the worst team in the league.
What,
They won
Good.
2 games
That's good.
out of
Is that right?
17.
Good stuff.
They're 2-15.
2
Yeah.
wins. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Look, I used to be a Panthers fan. I'm born in Charlotte. Lived in Harrisburg for 12 years, so I was a Panthers fan for a while. But haven't watched since the 2015 debacle in the Super Bowl. So yeah.
I will say this. We were talking about the game expanding worldwide in terms of soccer in the United States and football, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, Germany is going to experience the absolute joy of watching the Carolina Panthers in 2024.
Why?
You wanna talk
what
about
the NFL is
bad.
doing. I think the NFL just wants me to wake up and watch us get absolutely obliterated like
Well,
normal.
David
So-
Tepper paid a bunch of money because he said, I want to expand my brand.
Are they gonna play like a
They're
German
gonna play
football
at
team?
Bayern Munich. They're going to play at Munich Stadium.
Is there gonna be like a European football team?
No.
No,
To
it'll
come
be
and get
another.
them?
It'll be another.
Or they're gonna get massacred by Detroit or something. Like,
Yeah. They'll go overseas and get destroyed. So yeah,
what's the point? You could just get wrecked at home.
because
So people
we're
in Germany
expanding
buy
the game. All right,
Panthers?
all right. We're Roger Goodell wants
You
to
just sell lots of beer. Should be fine.
They will sell tons of beer because
Just
that's
sell lots of beer. Should be good. Make sure you get some German beer to sponsor the game. Have them bring. Should be fine. Should be a good time. Why not? They're all going to be asking, why are they not using their feet for football? Actually, I think the word in German is Fußball. Fußball.
It's Amerikanischen Fußballspielen. That's playing American football.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I took 3 years of German. That's one of the
Nice.
things I remember.
No, that sounded really good. That sounded like legit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, there you have it. That was a really good one. I certainly enjoyed it tonight. We got the predictions in, went over all kinds of different topics there. That was fun.
Wait, Richard, you better follow us now since we answered all your questions.
Answered all your questions. We certainly appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you asking those questions. Rachel as well. Everybody that was in the chat.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
That was awesome. Definitely
Oh, we
good
can't
times.
forget about Phil.
Say what?
We have,
Oh,
we
Phil.
have Phil in here who was the
Phil was
city.
in here. Yeah.
So
Asking about the City fan. So definitely glad everyone was here.
Two City fans.
There are now 2 City fans. I mean, if you look in that background there, Lewis, there's a steward. There's a steward there. So there's 3. So we got 3. We got 3 people in the stadium.
I think I see
We got
another
three.
yellow jacket. There might be
5 trophies.
Like I said, more trophies than fans.
More
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get the likes up on the video for the Man City trophies being bigger than their fan counts. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Of course, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate it. Get that notification bell on if you're enjoying all the content. We definitely got more coming for you. It's certainly been a good one. We hope you have a good one as well, and you will see us next time.